Hey, what's up? It's another 95X Live, and today I'm chatting with Kevin from the band Endearments, who will be here Friday in support of the Sheila Divine for another 95X show. Middle Ages Beer Hall. Tickets are on sale now, 95X.com. Kevin, how are you?
I'm well. How are you, Scott?
Honestly, for a Monday night in May when it should be 70 and it's 45, not too bad.
Sure.
Not too bad,
Sure.
man. I'm just super excited for Friday. I haven't seen the Sheila Divine in 8 years at this point. I used to see them like every 2 months. You guys are making your first trip up here to Syracuse to
That's
get
right.
on stage in front of our audience, and there's some local legends playing as well with the Flashing Astonishers. I'm looking so forward to Friday night. It's been too long since I've been in a room with live music,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I gotta say, the album is fantastic, recently released in Always Open Door.
That's
For
right.
those of you that listen to The Fringe, which is on Sunday nights, you're probably familiar with Real Deal, the single that we've been playing. I also have to say, Marianne is probably my favorite song on the record. Definitely the next
Thank you.
song I want to play on the air. For people that don't know, these guys are from Brooklyn, New York. I know that there is some buzz there, especially in the alternative underground. And I gotta say, man, like Real Deal was that song, and Marianne is the same way. And as I dig into the album more and more, right, like you guys have this
Sure.
very distinct, like familiarity to it, even though I've never heard the songs. And the thing
Sure.
that I've come to kind of accept is that like you guys are the perfect band for like an 80s, 90s movie soundtrack sound.
We get a
And
lot of that. We
like I
definitely get a
know
lot of that.
I know that like John Hughes gets brought up a lot in context of your music, but for me it's more along the lines of like it's all encompassing, right? Like there's such a vibe to it that makes your brain immediately go there. But then there's this thing that pulls you back to
Appreciate
make you
that.
realize, like, oh my God, these guys are like contemporary and you can hear the influence. But man, this is like a whole new take on that. And with yacht rock having come back and now the
Sure.
80s and 90s are cycling through because it's been that period of time where things cycle. I think you guys are poised to do some damage within the industry in the best possible way.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's funny because we've kind of been saying for this album cycle that um, this record is kind of taking, we were doing for the EPs that we released and the singles that we released before this record. I would say that we were even more sort of like 80s influenced, right? We were listening to a lot of The Cure and like New Order and Psychedelic Furs and just like I think things that feel really fitting for that sort of movie soundtrack idea. But it's funny because Anjali, who plays guitar on in the band, and Will, who plays drums in the band, they're like that kind of like 80s influence is not necessarily the main part of their diet when it comes to the music that they write in other bands that they're in Brooklyn and that they like to play. And it's interesting because when we went into writing this record, I had just started kind of revisiting a lot of music that I was listening to in high school and in college. And that's stuff that happened in sort of the early 2000s. And so a lot of the inspiration was like, Jimmy Eat World or Youth Group or like Silver Sun Pickups. And it was just a really interesting moment for us to kind of combine those sort of like late 90s emo or early aughts, indie rock with that kind of almost like 4AD style, like dream pop that we were doing. And I think what makes me happy is that it kind of still came out feeling really cinematic, but it just has a very different flavor because it's so much more guitar forward. It's so, I think, so much more anthemic than it was before. And yeah, I just really appreciate that you're connecting with it. And I think Real Deal is, that was the lead single. And I think it's got that big chorus. And so I think it hits really hard and people connect with it. But I agree with you. Marianne is probably my favorite song on the record. And it's got a lot more synths and maybe a little more of that Jimmy Eat World influence going on in it. It's a good one.
It sticks in your brain for hours after you listen to it, man. You bring up that early 2000s thing, right? And as somebody who lived through thousands of those tours that have come through Central New York, Syracuse, whatever,
Sure.
there's always been a band that was sort of like left of center right? Like whether it
Sure.
was like the Academy is
Oh,
like a
definitely.
perfect example, right? And then like little almost like pop punk leading things like Zoloft and the Rock and Roll Destroyer.
God,
Like
I
there were
loved Zola. They were so
so did
good.
I. I'll tell you Friday night. We'll talk about Zoloft because I've got a hilarious story with those guys. But um, you guys strike me as like that style of early 2000s where like it's not, I mean, you can draw the line at Jimmy Eat World because there's big hooks and the chorus and right, like there's writing
Sure.
elements, but from the overall musical style, I feel like you're the band that I would have seen play band two on a four band tour with like a headliner, like,
Sure.
like from a second story window, right? And you show up and it's just like, this is different, but it fits for some reason, and I love it.
I appreciate that. I think it's really fitting that we're playing with Sheila Divine. I think that they definitely fit. And I hope you've been listening to their new singles and their new record. It's really amazing. I mean, Aaron's just such an incredible songwriter, and it's super exciting for me. And just super exciting for us to get to play with them on these couple of shows that we're doing in Buffalo and Syracuse. And yeah, I think it's sort of interesting because the Sheila Divine is different than we are, but it does fit really well. And I think I know exactly what you mean when it comes to like those tours and those shows that we saw back then, where you'd be like, yeah, one of these openers just sort of has like the dial turned just a little bit differently. In our case, it definitely comes from that kind of like 80s influence. And I think about all the time how a lot of the bands that I really loved in the 2000s, also their favorite bands were bands from the 80s, right? Like and so that really drove a lot of their like songwriting and the kind of like pop hooks that they put in there. And so, while we were making this music, there was a part of me that felt like it's really exciting to sort of draw a line then between things that I started loving a lot more actually as I got older. When I was in high school and in college, I didn't listen to a lot of music from the 80s. I was, pretty rabidly like burning CDs and grabbing anything that I could from the college radio station. And so I was definitely finding new things, but it really wasn't until after I graduated from college and sort of spending a little bit more time not playing like guitar rock style music, but like focusing more on composing it with synthesizers, or I'm now much more focused on playing bass, where I just found so many great bands from the 80s, and that really like affected my songwriting for many years. So this actually feels really fun because it feels like a return to form, right? Like so much of the music that I played for so many years was guitar rock, and to have such a like incredible guitar player in our band, to have Anjali be such a strong presence on this record, it's just really fun. Like we're just doing a lot of really big guitar hooks. And yeah, you can hear it all over the place. But Marriane is definitely a great example of just where we've got, hooks on top of hooks, guitar harmonies stacked on top of the leads, doubling things that are happening in the vocals. There's just a lot of really cool moments. And yeah, it's exciting. We've had a lot of success so far with the record, and just really excited to get out on the road and start playing in front of some new people.
I can't wait, man. I think Buffalo is going to be great for you. Electric City is a phenomenal room. I know that the Sheila Divine has such a following in Buffalo. I remember
They love them
going,
there.
they did like this free Thursday in the Square thing back in like 2001, 2002 with a Canadian band called Moist, right? And when they were telling me about
Nice.
it, they totally undersold it, right? Like Aaron was like, oh, it's like this outdoor thing. It's like playing outside at a bar. I got there and there's like 6,000 people an
Sure.
hour before music starts, just crammed into downtown Buffalo. And then it just kind of hit me like, okay, cool.
Something's
And
happening. Yeah.
yeah, and they've kept that strong. I know they played that same exact venue for what is essentially a modern version of the same theme last summer. And it was every
Sure.
bit as packed for just them.
I love that. I love that. I mean, well deserved, incredible band, and I know just really beloved in Buffalo. I think it's which I mean that makes it extra exciting for us. Like it really actually feels like a privilege to get to open for them for this show. And we've had such a fun time hanging out with them also because we both played South by Southwest this year, and had a chance to play a few different venues with them. And just kind of a different vibe down in Texas, but really fun, a lot of camaraderie. I think it's a great festival for meeting people, but yeah, it was fun. I think we played on 3 different sets with them while we were down there, so we're already homies. It's the right feeling. It's the right mix. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be really great.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned it earlier, feeling like the bands are very different, but man, like I think it fits so well, right? Like especially in Syracuse, because there's a local band down it that used to play with those guys a lot back in the day called the Flashing Astonishers,
Sure.
who do way more of like a shoegaze thing, right? Like Mercury Rev kind
Sure.
of vibes, right? So going from that to you guys to the Sheila Divine for me is like this perfect
That's
lineup
perfect.
of
That's
music.
perfect.
Um, can't wait for Friday. Tickets are on sale now. It's the Sheila Divine Endearments, Flashing Astonishers. It's an affordable ticket. It's Middle Ages Beer Hall, which, in my opinion, one of the nicest venues in Central New York. Big stage, great
Love it.
production, and obviously Middle Ages Brewing. It's you're gonna have to have a beer or two if you do that. So,
Oh,
uh,
definitely.
yeah. Well, Kevin, I appreciate you. I urge everybody to go check out An Always Open Door, featuring the single Real Deal. Also, Marriane, which as soon as I get a track for that, we'll get that going on the Fringe as well. And
Perfect.
Friday night's going to be a blast. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys do this live. And then hopefully we can make this like a regular spot since you're only 4-ish hours away. We'll bring Endearments back for either a listener session or we can book a club show, get you in the mix with some of our local bands here that I think
I
will fit
love
very
that.
well with you too.
Well, I think we're planning to be back through the area in December, so let's absolutely connect. I'm super excited, and it's going to be a great show.
Awesome. Well, Kevin, I appreciate your time tonight, and I look forward to seeing you in person on Friday.
Cheers. Thanks, Scott.
Hey, what's up? It's another 95X Live, and today